All right, welcome back to Swish Happens. I'm Aiden.
I'm Dylan.
Playoffs have started off, and it's been pretty exciting lately. It's been a lot of good and a lot of bad. Let's start off with the Thunder Suns. Um, Obviously, there's been a lot going around about the refereeing and the fouling and a lot of press conference stuff. So, what do you think about it?
I think that, I have Suns fans in my life. I have a couple Suns fans in my life, and they're telling me I'm coming off very biased, and I probably am coming off very biased.
Yeah,
I think the reffing in game two was abysmal both ways. I think the T on Booker was awful. I mean, that was a terrible call. Like he didn't deserve a T. I think where I've been getting flack is that I just feel like it was just a poorly officiated game either way. And I just feel like it just brought up kind of a grander conversation of like I feel like this happens a lot. When especially when teams are good and teams are winning, SGA is a foul merchant, the Thunder get a different whistle. And I think that's where I get frustrated, I think, because I disagree with that. I think that across the league, night to night, regular season playoffs, there's just, bad officiating nights. And I think there's, guys get fined every week for, bagging on the officials for bad nights. And I just think that that's what game two was. I think it was just a bad officiating night. I think the way that the Thunder play does put officials in kind of a little bit of a predicament, I will say. I can admit that. I think the Thunder found a way to play just physical enough a brand of basketball to make teams uncomfortable enough where they think everything's a foul. And it puts the ref in a position where a lot of calls could be fouls, but they're not called. So yeah, I think this is a kind of like an intersection of a couple different things. I think people are haters overall, especially when teams are winning. I think B, the Thunder play like I said, a really physical brand of basketball, and C, at every level of basketball, you're going to get bad nights of officiating, and I just think that game two was just a bad night of officiating both ways too. What would be my overall takes? But how about you?
yeah, yeah.
What's
I
your kind
mean,
of mindset?
looking at just this case, like the Suns Thunder thing. I looked at it as in if that's what your main thing after the game was, that's not the reason you lost. I would say the technical was the one weird thing where I was like, all right, that was kind of crazy. But
Yeah,
everything else, this has happened in every NBA season for the past couple of years now. This isn't new. And what I was told since a young age is you never blame the refs. I
yeah,
mean, and that's not why they lost this game. That's not why they are going to lose this series. It's not on the refs. Um, I could see if you're talking about it as a whole. I think this is where players um kind of get the wrong idea when they try to like talk about the reffing in one game. If you're gonna try to actually make a case, look at it as a whole season or just as the game like as a whole. Um I mean, the Thunder, like you said, have found the perfect physicality, and I do think it's also extra annoying because we are the best team in the league and we are so good. But if you, like I said, if you look around, I mean, if you watch Nikola Jokic, he does almost the same thing, maybe even sometimes worse. It's just being smart. Like I watched him, he was just standing at the 3-point line. Rudy Gobert has his hand out and he takes a shot and bumps into his hand and it's a foul. I mean, that's just what the NBA is now.
yeah,
And those same players that complain about it try to do the same thing.
yeah. No, I
I
agree.
mean,
And I just pulled up just the stats for the season. For the regular season, the Thunder were 17th in the league in free throw attempts. For the playoffs, the Thunder are 8th out of 16 in free throw attempts. So it's
yeah.
like, who's getting a bad whistle? Like
This
the
this
numbers don't back up the claim.
That's another thing. I looked at the stats of last night because I was like, well, if they're talking about the officials so much, guess how many more free throws we took than them?
Well, like one.
Three. We took 21 free throws. They took 18. I mean, it's nothing crazy. I just think that because the Thunder are so good that it gets highlighted.
Yeah, no, and that right there is a point that I've been trying to make too. Whether it be in the microcosm of this game, like Dylan Brooks is very physical. Dylan Brooks was, towing the line between some technicals. Jalen Green's flopping for calls. Like, so it's like I just feel like the narrative is just. it's like this because, to your point, we're the best team. We're winning. I think, again, we're just playing in the gray area, and I think if the Thunder weren't a great team, or if the Thunder were the sixth seed, and we're grinding to even make it out of this round, I don't even think the conversation would be different. I don't think there would be a conversation. I don't think anyone would be talking about this at all, and
No.
I don't know. I mean, just in terms of like singular players too, because I think SGA gets a lot of this, heat too. If you watch a guy like Şengün, or when Luka's healthy, or I love him, but Denny, like these guys just do this. Jokic will do this from time to time. It's just see the opportunity when they expect a call to be made, and lean into the call. Whether it be literally or figuratively, lean into the call. And I just think that. For people to sit here and say that it's not enjoyable basketball to watch, I think that's where I also get frustrated too. Because yeah, sure, on one possession, Shea might be getting, a call that someone might not agree with, but on the next possession, he's frying absolutely perfect defense for a beautiful mid-range jumper, or the Thunder are dishing the ball around, and Chet's getting a spot up three, or like I just think that, and this is where I'm biased, and this is where I get a little bit defensive of it. I just think that to just brand the Thunder as like unenjoyable basketball, or like ruining the NBA, or even Book said some crazy shit about like it's ruining the integrity of the game. That's where I think we gotta maybe slow it down a little bit. I think that's a little bit
Yeah.
dramatic, you
I
know?
mean, it's the people that only watch the Thunder or basketball on Instagram. I mean,
Yeah,
because that's what they see. That's what like people push out is like the foul merch and stuff. But it's like if you talk to people that actually like watch the game or actually like look into like SGA highlights, I mean, he is, I think, the smoothest basketball player in the NBA right now.
yeah,
And I get a lot of shit for this take. Drawing a foul is has always been a part of the game, but
sure.
right now it is a huge part of the game. If you go back and look at everybody's favorite legend, and if they played right now, like I say this to people. If Michael Jordan played right now, you don't think he would be trying to get free points off free throws, like drawing fouls? I mean, Kobe Bryant did this when he played in the 2000s. I mean, it's just a bigger part of the game now. And it's kind of, I feel like people are actually working on that kind of stuff and are always trying to look for that foul because it is a big part of the game now, but I think everybody would have done it.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. And for on the point of the officials, if the league really thought it was a problem with what the Thunder were doing, they would do something about it. And then the bigger thing is I've never believed in the history of almost sports, unless the refs have been caught, that refs are given a directive before a game to call more or less for one team. I think that is ridiculous. I think that is conspiracy on conspiracy. So yeah, I think it's overblown. And I think this part doesn't matter as much, but I also think it's relevant to point out that the Suns were never ever going to win the series.
No, I that's why I was going to get into it. I have stuff on this. If they want to talk about something in the press conference, this is what they should be talking about. In game one, Oklahoma City forced 17 turnovers and only had six. And they forced the Suns to a 34.9% field goal percentage. And four of eight Phoenix rotational players, that's half of them, which is players playing 15 minutes or more, scored less than 5 points. Royce O'Neal had four, and the rest had zero.
Yeah, yeah,
And then only three scored more than 10. So that other guy, I think it was, I forget who, had like 7 points. And then in game two, OKC forced 21 turnovers and only had 10. That's the real problem. I
yeah,
mean, you are getting slammed in the turnover. That's a 22 turnover like a plus 22 turnover difference the Thunder have on the Suns in these two games.
yeah, big time. Yeah, and you have Book shooting 17 shots in game one and 14 shots in game two. I mean, if your best player is going to be shooting under 20 shots, then you're just not going to win the series, And
Yeah.
like the Suns fans in my life are like, oh, like, we weren't going to win anyways. But it's like, no, well, like, what are we
Yeah.
talking about then? So you want to, so I don't even understand what the goal is. So you want to lose with that one less technical foul for Book, and six less free throws for the Thunder, and that's gonna make you feel better. I don't understand the Suns fans perspective, and I think everyone else is just a hater. So it's
Yeah.
just it's one of those where like we're gonna roll into the next round. I am very interested to talk about the Lakers, Lakers Rockets series, but I think that this will all probably go away more and more once the games are more competitive too. Like I just don't remember these conversations in the Nuggets series last year. Like I just feel like this it's easier to look at these plays when the whole game is inconsequential. So it's like at the end of the game, like we're like no one cares about, the last minute or 2 minutes of the game if it's already a blowout. So the only plays
Yeah.
that people come away from the game with are the bad calls.
Yeah. And another thing is the Thunder don't care. Like they don't care about this conversation because they hear it almost all year, especially SGA. But one thing that comes out of this series that will affect a little bit of the future, hopefully not too much. Jalen Williams, grade one hamstring strain. This is the same hamstring he's been dealing with all season. It'll be week to week updates. He's most likely to miss the rest of the series. But I don't. I think he should be back for our next series. I don't see any reason we would need to rush him, but I just think he will be healthy by then.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's one of those where I think you can split it into like the short term and the long term with this. I think in the short term, I'm not super worried about it. I mean, hamstrings can linger, and obviously they can come back. I think for the next series, whether it be Lakers or Rockets, I still think the Thunder would be fairly heavily favored, even without Dub, to be totally honest. Just
Yeah,
we played without him for a lot of the year, and had very good success early on. It would be, Western Conference, if for some reason it dragged on till then, I'd be getting a little bit nervous. Um, Overall though, how nervous are you, on the eve of all three of these max deals starting to cash for, Chad, Shea, and Dub? I mean, how nervous are you for the future? Because I feel like the last 2 years for Dub have been a little bit troubling from an injury perspective.
yeah, and I've always when I've talked about this with like if it came down to a decision, Chet or J Dub, I was always like leaning towards J Dub, and that's nothing against Chet. I just thought J Dub was a way more impactful player. I feel like he just has like, if you look at a graph of every skill in basketball, I think he fills almost all of it,
Hmm.
and I don't think Chet does that. But I mean, with this injury stuff, um, and like recent performance, I think I would choose Chet
Hmm.
now.
Love it.
I just feel like we also because we have so many other guys we need to pay.
Yeah.
Obviously, I want to keep them all, but to be able to like spend more money on our role guys and keep them, I think I would rather do that. I don't think I'm nervous though. Like I said, I mean, we all know we have so many picks and we do a great job of filling those holes. Um, I'm nervous for Sam Presti and the organization to have to choose which role players they're going to keep though, because I mean, I'd hate to see anybody go, but it's going to have to happen at some point.
Yeah, true, true. Yeah, it becomes an interesting conversation because I mean, like Bill Simmons on his pod said, like his most fun like trade machine guy was J Dub. Like it's not that. Like no matter where the Thunder end this year, Jalen Williams will be on the team at the
Yeah,
beginning of the season next year, at the trade deadline next year, and all the way through. Um, but if next year was a carbon copy of for Jado of what happened this year. If he missed this many games last year, was a little bit inconsistent coming back again, and then missed more games again at the end of the year, I think a year from now, that's when we would start to be having some more serious conversations about it. But yeah, I think now I think I'm with you. I think it's something that it's not the injury problem is not nothing. But it's not a pressing issue right now. But yeah, I think the depth piece is going to be a point of contention. I mean, I think guys like A. Wiggins are gonna have to go. Guys like Isaiah Joe are gonna have to go. Hardenstein are probably gonna have to go. We have Caruso locked up for a couple more years. I think the Case and Wallace thing is probably gonna be our most impactful decision because he's gonna demand not he's going to physically demand, but the way he's
yeah,
played will demand compensation.
for sure.
And I could see him getting paid somewhere. Like I'm like since last year, since Luka went to the Lakers, I think Casey Wallace would be like a really great fit next to, I hate saying this, but I think he'd be a really great fit next to Luca in LA.
Yeah.
I just think there's a real demand for a guy like Casey Wallace where you're, guard sized, but are obviously a lockout defender on the perimeter, so you're not going to get hunted. And then I think he's really shown some great offensive stuff. So unless he is a massive OKC guy and a huge team first guy, and I will accept making tens of millions, maybe hundreds of $1 million less money. I'm going to assume he'd probably be the cut next, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure. I think Casey Wallace is the guy on our team, and like that's probably the one that I would really want to keep.
For
And I
sure.
think this is honestly might have been one of the biggest problems with our injuries this year. It's not losing games. It's we let our role players like show that they can make like I think he could be he's a $20 million a year. I think he could catch that type of contract.
I
Um,
think 30 plus.
yeah, like I mean the way the market is now, it's crazy. Um, but yeah, I think he could easily make big money, especially with the offensive output he showed he can handle this year. And yeah, that
Yeah.
is what's scary because we can't even if we wanted to offer those guys that kind of money.
No, no, definitely. I just pulled up a quick list for salaries. So yeah, so guys making $30 million or in that range. Um, Andrew Wiggins, RJ Barrett,
Jeez.
Simons, Hartenstein, Porzingis, CJ McCollum, DeJounte Murray, Hero, Jordan Poole, Jamie Grant. Like he
So
is
he's easily he could
squarely.
easily
Yeah. So
easily.
yeah, I mean, I don't have the Thunder's cap table in front of us, but that would definitely be a conversation eventually. But yeah, but I think even this conversation right now is just a microcosm of like the Suns are not going to win this series.
Yeah.
Like we're sitting here talking about Thunder contracts and shit like that,
Yeah.
and we got Suns fans talking about we're not going to win, but like,
Yeah.
what are we doing, dude? But all right, I think we can agree. I mean, if it's not a sweep, even without dub, it's 5 games. I mean,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
gonna get decimated. But all right, well, where do you want to go next? You want to stay west?
Yeah.
Stay west?
Stay west. Let's go down to LA and Houston. Um, I mean, just wow. Like, just wow. I mean, who would have thought Luke Kennard is ninth in playoff points per game right now?
Dude, that okay. I had to pull up the paragraph of notes that I texted myself after Rockets Lakers game two. This Rockets performance was despicable.
I
Was despicable. Like,
yeah.
what were your thoughts before I absolutely eviscerate the Houston Rockets?
Well, my one question was, are you more impressed by the Lakers or disappointed in the Rockets? I mean,
Just,
that's the real question at hand. Like,
yeah, yeah.
I think I'm more disappointed in the Rockets. I mean, Houston has only scored under 100 points 7 times this year, and they're all obviously losses. Houston is shooting 28.7% from the three, and LA is shooting 49.5% from three. LA is also shooting the least amount of threes in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
And at the ripe age of 41, LeBron James is averaging 23.5 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists.
Cooking.
Yeah,
Cooking. And the LeBron stuff, but before I get on the Rockets, I do want to point out and give flowers to the Lakers. Like we did this big thing about LeBron and about how he's in the last time he's gonna be leading a team and like he's not really busy earned it. And he's really like I was wowed. I was wowed. I mean, even though I was, way more scared for the Rockets. Braun really just it was a reminder of like, hey, listen, like even though my body might not be what it used to be, like I'm still that guy. Like I still got the IQ. You can set as many double teams as you want. High above the 3 point line. I'm gonna make the right read on a perfect pass every single time. He's just still got it, man. He's just still got it. And I think especially in a series where or in these games where he's being forced to, I mean, we all knew he was going to be forced to, be the lead ball handler and make things happen. But in terms of an X's and O standpoint, obviously the plan for Ime was to force his hand, try to get the ball out of Bron's hand, try to put some pressure on him, and he's just making the right read every single time.
yeah,
I think, I have to give my flowers to LeBron. It's been like a really, really fun to watch. Like honestly, as someone that's been like obviously down the Lakers all year, it kind of like took me out of that like hardcore fan mode in terms of like trying to break down the game and analyze the game, and more maybe just
Yeah.
like a regular fan. And like I was almost in awe a little bit of this dude doing this 23 years in.
Yeah.
The Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets. What the hell is going on? I do
No
not
idea.
understand. Kevin Durant had 20 points in the first half of game two. 20 points on like 6 for 8 shooting, playing incredible. So at half, obviously JJ Redick makes some adjustments as coaches do. It's the playoffs. As
Yeah.
coaches do, makes adjustments. Um, Ime makes no adjustments. There's this quote that Jabari Smith had yesterday, kind of getting on Kevin Durant, which I agree with. He was like, "Listen, if he's getting double, he's still got to find a way to make shots. He's Kevin Durant," which I agree with. Sure, why is Ime Udoka allowing Kevin Durant just to get entry after entry outside the three-point line, get doubled, and then not be able to make the read? I mean, this was also an interesting conversation that I was having with some friends, is that this was the stark difference to me between Kevin Durant and LeBron James, even just as the genesis of players, where they were both getting doubled all game, like high doubles, like outside the three-point line. And then Braun was bang, open shooter, swing, swing, open three, where KD is trying to put his head down, turn the corner, dribble through two, get his stuff off, or he's trying to make the right read and he's not able to complete the pass. So as a big KD guy, that was shitty to watch, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
But like, what do you think of, about at least in that perspective, like the Bron versus KD and how they were both reacting to the coverage they were getting?
I mean, LeBron has kind of always been like that playmaker, had the IQ.
Big time.
But one thing I'm just surprised about KD is I just feel like he never adapted to being able to play without a pure point guard.
Yeah, sure.
Like I feel like he never kind of brought that like playmaking or like IQ. I'm not saying KD doesn't have the IQ. I mean, obviously he's an all-time great, but I just feel like he never very like super developed that side of the game, which is what he kind of needs right now, being older and not as athletic as he was. And what the Rockets need from him right now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think a thing I'll say with that is that one of the most one of the most proficient parts of not KD's game, but of anyone's game, anyone's offensive game in the last 25 years is getting KD the ball on the mid post and having him work. Shimmy over the right shoulder fade, two dribble to the baseline, fade jumper, like use the post footwork. Like this is where it is a failure to me, an absolute failure on not KD. I think KD gets a pretty sizable amount of the blame here, but even more so Udoka. Like
Yeah,
like how in the stoppage of play, or I mean, even after a Lakers bucket as someone's dribbling it up half court, like get into a set where we can enter the ball to this guy below the three-point line. You know,
yeah,
it was like it was insane. I'm fired up talking about it now because this is our dude, this is our guy. Like I've
yeah,
watched this dude for fucking almost 20 years be the greatest, one of the greatest scorers in my opinion in the history of the league, and now he's gonna put himself in positions to dribble through double teams, and so is his coach, and he's gonna have 3 points in the second half after having 20 in the first in the play. Like it almost doesn't even feel like real to me. It was bizarre.
yeah. I just think after an 82 game season and now you're in the playoffs down 0-2. You have Kevin Durant. You have a great roster. I mean,
Yeah.
this when people looked at this roster before the season, they were like, "Wow, this team is something to worry about." And
Yes.
obviously, the whole like blame was like, "Oh, they don't have a point guard." But it's like you've had all season to figure out some sets, some play style that works, that gets your best player, one of the best, maybe the best scorer of all time, one of the best scorers in the league right now, to
Yeah.
get to his spots. You haven't figured out any kind of way to do that.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm looking at the box scores now. So he had 8 shots in the first half. He had 4 shots in the second half. He ended with 12 field goal attempts, where Jabari Smith Jr. 16 field goal attempts. Şengün with 20. I mean, Şengün is an offensive guy. I think that's a like even though I'd like to see Kevin Durant closer to the usage, I think that's okay. Tari Eason, 14 field goal attempts. Tari Eason and Jabari Smith Jr. cannot be shooting the ball more than Kevin Durant. Like that is a recipe to be swept by a Luka-less and Reeves-less Lakers team. That is how you lose. And
Yeah,
a lot of these shots from these guys, Jabari Smith and Tari Eason were like ISO drives and like contested three. Like they're not even in positions where they're getting a good shot. Like the offensive game planning and the offensive adjustments have been horrendous. Amen Thompson is sublime when it's in transition. In transition, he is like elite, like top 10, like way higher than that in terms of decision making and productivity. He cannot do anything in the half court. He can't beat anyone off the dribble. At the beginning of the year, like I think we were all pretty excited to see, after the Van Vliet injury, let's get Amin Thompson some reps at the primary. Maybe this
yeah,
is the next step to his game. It's not the next step to his game yet.
yeah,
It's not. This Rockets team, I'm just so fired up about it. It's baffling to me how a team with this much talent is just in shambles. And I think you're right. Like you can't just blame this on an injury to a above average solid point guard. And Van Vliet, Fred Van Vliet is great, but if removing Fred Van Vliet from your offense has decimated your team this much,
yeah.
that's something on the coaching and the roster construction that I just don't know what else to say about them. It's insane to me that this is happening like this.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you have to also give a lot of props to JJ Redick.
Yeah.
I mean, Udoka's not a bad coach at all. I just think
No.
their coaching styles clash. I think JJ Redick is a way more like X's and O's guy, and Udoka is way more of like a player coach kind of thing.
Big defensive
Um,
coach
yeah,
and
yeah, like um, I think JJ Redick has done a great job. This was supposed to be an easy series for the Rockets.
yeah, at least these first couple without Luca
Yeah,
and Reeves,
yeah.
like
And that leads me to like, are we where I mean I would think the Lakers are going to win the series now being up 2-0. I
yeah.
find it hard for the Rockets to win 4 games, especially the way they're looking. Um, are we worried about the Lakers with potentially Luca and Austin Reeves back?
I'm gonna say no, and here's why. I think that the only silver lining, or not the only silver lining, but something that deserves to be said is with no Luca and Reeves, you're losing a ton of offense. But then without that, you can play your Marcus Smart more. Vando got out there a little bit more. I think defensively, you can kind of, you know, cover just one, liability in Braun, a little bit easier than you can cover three. So I'm gonna say no. I just think that on the defensive end, even without Dub, I think the Thunder will be able to match up well enough. And then I think on the offensive end, I just think the Thunder just have way more offensive weapons, and or way more higher level offensive weapons than the Rockets do. And the Thunder also have a coach that understands, how to put his players in the best position to succeed.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and I think another thing too, just I know I mentioned the double teams a couple times. That was like really interesting to me on both ends. There's scheming and doubling all the time in the league, but I mean this was the most double teaming outside the 3-point line I've seen in a playoff game in my entire life.
yeah,
Which I think that was really interesting, and I think that it kind of touches on what you were talking about Redick versus Udoka, where I think if you're Redick and Braun's getting doubled, you throw out Luke Kennard's out there or ready to knock down a three. You space the floor so he can just make the next pass. Where I think just on the Rocket side, that's just not a strength of theirs, especially if Reeves not going to get a ton of run. Then you're KD and you're getting doubled, then you have to swing the ball over to Tari Eason on the wing. Like I
yeah.
like Tari Eason, but like not in that role too. So I think that Reddick is putting on a good show right now, and I think he's been out coaching Ime. I do think that I don't think he'll be able to pull these same moves next round against the Thunder. So I mean, I wouldn't be
No,
worried. I wouldn't be worried.
no. I mean, I'll give the Lakers offensively will be great, but they're no match for us on defense.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Not even close. And I was telling all the people, BSing about the Thunder. Just wait till you get Luca being guarded by Case and Wallace. You'll see where the real baiting and the crying is. Like
Yeah.
you think
Yeah.
the Thunder are foul baiting? Just wait until Luca gets a tech or two after bitching at the refs. I'm not worried about that at all.
Yeah. Marcus Smart has been playing his ass off though. That's the last thing I wanted to say about this.
Hooping. There's from the
Yeah.
grave.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I thought he was kind of
Seriously.
done.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I will say I do want to go on the record and say I think this is a 6 game series. Even though I've decimated the Rockets for the last couple minutes, I just weirdly think that getting one of these guys back for the Lakers, I think is going to be a little bit of there's going to be a little bit of calibration period
Yeah.
for the Lakers, and I just think that I'm a big believer in like the playoffs are very like pendulum swing, and like there'll be a regression to the mean. And I would be dumbfounded if the Rockets did not win Game 3. I just think that's the way that this stuff kind of goes. I mean, we'll see though. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, if it gets to 2-2, the Rockets are probably favored again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, so much of this is narrative based too. Like, I mean, I know we're gonna talk about Cavs Raptors, but I mean, before last night, like it was Cavs 2-0.
It was, yeah,
People
it's
were probably
over.
like, "Sweep, this is done," and now the
Yeah.
Raptors go out and win by 20. Conversations change. So I think that
Yeah.
for better or for worse, like the court of public opinion is like very fickle with that stuff.
Yeah. But all right, let's lead. It's probably the most exciting series. Denver, Minnesota. Um,
Man.
Last night was just the total opposite of games you think you would see out of this series.
Yeah,
I mean, before it, when it was 1-1, I mean, the team stats were like very similar of like field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, free throws, rebounds. They were very, very similar. I think the games do come down to their stars. At least I thought until last night. Have the Timberwolves figured Jokic out?
I think that. I don't know about figured out, but I do think what they've done is they've really forced him to try to get it done himself on the scoring end. I
Mm-hmm.
think that at least watching the games, it feels like they're just really making it a point to be super physical with Jokic too, but with everyone else. Physical with Jamal Murray, denying Jamal Murray. Like Jokic on the year only averages like 15, 16 field goal attempts.
Yeah.
And in games 1, 2, and 3, he shot 19, then 20, and then 26 field goals last night, which is it's not that he can't do that. I mean, he's Jokic. We've seen him put up 50 bombs, but I mean, in terms of the way he is usually the most effective, it's not shooting 20 plus shots a game. It's shooting an efficient 15 and getting others involved. And it just feels like the T-Wolves mindset is this both physical and mental like toughness piece where I think that all these McDaniels comments about every single player on the Nuggets is a bad defender, and I think that they've kind of brought juice to the table, both again in a mental and physical way, and it just feels like it's really kind of not eliminated, but it's really cooled the rest of the non-Jokic Nuggets players. And then Jokic's whole thing is he makes everyone else better, and if he can't make everyone else better, and he's got to do it himself, that's just not the most maximizing way to maximize his talents. Well, it is my kind of take on it, but I'm curious to see what you think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and we've seen like the past like couple of years that's been people's like go-to is make Jokic do it all.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I think the X factor for the Timberwolves here is Rudy Gobert has been playing great.
yeah,
I mean, and Rudy Gobert has been awesome on Jokic. I mean, last night in the fourth quarter they showed up a stat. Rudy Gobert's plus minus was plus 21 and Nikola Jokic was minus 21.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
right there showed exactly. I mean, and they also showed another graphic of like players shooting percentage on Rudy Gobert. It was Jokic was 4 for 8, and then everybody else was 0 for 1. Um, and I do think they're like that clash of styles that the Timberwolves have with like they're talking, they're energetic, trying to get like into the Nuggets' head. I think is kind of working a little bit. Um, Also they were shooting very well last night. And I think in any playoff environment, when you start off that well in the first quarter, it's hard for that other team to kind of get momentum again, especially when you're on your home court.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and I think that last night, I feel like everyone has the alarm bells going after last night. I'm kind of the opposite because I think that it's really tough to take things away from a game where the shot variance is just like so off, is like
Yeah,
so skewed in one team's favor. Yes, it's because I mean, if you look at the Nuggets stats, I mean, everyone shot like trash. I mean,
yeah,
Jokic shot 7 for 26, Murray shot 5 for 17. No one else even took over 10 shots and everyone shot it just the shot variance alone um just was so skewed in the T-Wolves' favor from the jump, and it was so lopsided from the jump that I don't know. I'm not really taking a ton away from last night's game in terms of just last night's game, but in terms of the overall series, this physicality thing is something that I think the Nuggets are gonna have to figure out. And I think it's interesting we talked about X factors prior to the playoff starting, and I think that's kind of showing through. I mean, we both kind of talked about just Denver's wings, and these guys are just going to have to step up. You know, Christian Brown last night 0 for 4, Cam Johnson 2 for 6, Peyton Watson didn't even play. Like we got
yeah,
Spencer Jones playing 30 minutes. Like it can't be the Jokic show, and it really can't be the Jokic and Murray show either.
yeah,
Like Murray shot 17 shots, and then the next guy is Tim Hardaway shooting 8. I mean, like it just like someone else has got to step up for this team. And like I'm not trying to take the onus or the responsibility off of Jokic. I'm really not trying to do
yeah,
that. But I do think that especially if this is if the Timberwolves game plan is to make Jokic do it all, then in the game of chess here, it's if Jokic is just if the Nuggets game plan is for Jokic just to do it all, then you're playing right into the Timberwolves' hands. So
yeah.
something's got to give with one of these role guys for sure.
And also Aaron Gordon was out last night with
Aaron Gordon
left
too.
calf
Yeah.
tightness.
Yeah.
And I remember we did have the wings. And I also said Aaron Gordon was a big X factor
Yes.
because
Yes, you did.
when Aaron Gordon plays good, I mean the Nuggets win. And he is a big part of their defense and offense and late game situation. I mean, he is huge for the Nuggets. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that's the reason they lost. I'm just saying him being out is a big difference in their offense and defense. But also Anthony Edwards has been like questionable every single game with this knee issue, but he keeps playing.
He's
So
such a
I don't know what.
dog.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
such a dog.
So I don't know what that's about. I just think the biggest thing that came away from last night is just the obvious that the T-Wolves are up 2-1 now. They only
Yeah.
need two more games.
Big time. Yeah, I think that I mean obviously this isn't like a massive take. The
Yeah,
next game is obviously like really important. Not just in this series, but I don't know. I think I just have a little bit of PTSD from Indy last year, in the respect that like some teams get hot and it transcends playoff rounds.
yeah,
And it's not just oh, in this couple games they played well enough and they got out, or this series they were pretty good. Sometimes teams go on heaters. It doesn't happen every year. But I would be curious to see that if this Minnesota team with this kind of swagger that they're playing with, like I think there's some of that unquantifiable kind of just swagger that they're playing with, like they're
yeah,
talking their shit and they're backing it up. I would be curious to see if they keep this ripping. If I was a betting man, I'd still say Nuggets in 6, which sounds kind of crazy. I might push the Nuggets in 7. Um, I just think that Jokic is too good of a player. A lot of the guys have had too much experience in these situations to go out sad like this. Would
yeah,
be my prediction.
yeah. I just can't predict the Nuggets going out in round one.
Agree. Agree. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't compute. It just doesn't compute.
Yeah. All right, now it takes us down to San Antonio. Well, actually, we'll be in Portland, but I was looking at this. I mean, they had in their first two games, they also had similar team stats again. I just think it comes down to Wemby. The Spurs don't lose that game without Wemby, or I mean, with Wemby.
Yeah.
But that being said, Wemby is under concussion protocol. It's nothing serious. I mean, he doesn't have a serious concussion, but he likely won't play in game three.
Yeah, well, which is tough. I mean, it's a bummer because I really wanted to see this Blazers team, fully healthy, give the Spurs some trouble. I think the the Wemby thing though, to me has had me after he went out, the way the Blazers played offense, I was like, okay, wait, this team is not equipped to win a playoff series right now, unfortunately. And I was a
Yeah,
Blazers guy all year. Coming back into the playoffs, I kind of like reinvigorated my all my Blazers talk. And then after Wemby went down and they still had to really grind out that win and really totally rely on Tumani Kamara hitting a wide open three, or Denny, trying to break down a defender and hit a tough
Scoot,
midi. I just think they're
Scoot having
really limited
30.
offensively.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much on this series. I don't think Portland has what it takes to beat the Spurs. Once Wemby comes back, I mean, there still is a chance he plays in Game 3.
Yeah.
I don't think he will. But he was already doing like activity, like slight light practices. Um, but yeah, that's it. I don't really have much for the Blazers.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the presence of Drew Holiday has been felt in a really positive way. I think talking about Scoot, I mean, Scoot having 30 in the way that he did was like really fun. But I was having a conversation with a friend about this. I think that Scoot this year has been really interesting because he went from bust, really. I mean, everyone was kind of writing him off as a bust. And
Yeah,
now, after the end of the year, and especially after the other night, people are like really high on him. Like, oh, he's back. Like this is why he went too. And I'm like, all right, let's simmer it a little bit. I will say though, I think his career trajectory to me, and this could change, is like a better version of Dennis Schroeder, which I think is a compliment. I mean, like high level, bench guard, or fifth best starter on a really good team, which I don't think is a slight at all. I think the defensive stuff for him is actually has been really impactful. I think the offensive game is still a little bit wonky, like the jumper and some of his reads are a little weird, but I think on the defensive end, he's a disruptor. He can guard your team's best guard, and I think I'm now settled on he will get a second and third contract in the league, which I something is something I was not sold on
yeah,
before. So I mean, I think Drew Holiday and Scoot Henderson and this weird like veteran young guy thing have been two of my most in my opinion, the most impactful takeaways from this series. And those are two guys that we're not going to see again after next week. But I just thought just some interesting points to hit on for the Blazers.
yeah, yeah.
All right, should we head out east?
Head out east. Detroit and Orlando. Man, after game one, I was like, what do we got going on here? Um, I mean, it was just a bad game. I mean, Cade had 39 points, but the Pistons only had two players over 10 points.
Yeah,
And the Magic had five over 15.
shooting
Um,
variance a little bit there.
yeah, but I was watching in the first quarter. So Jalen Suggs in the first 9 minutes of the game had 11 points, two rebounds, two assists, two steals, one block.
Yeah,
He hit the he hit the first two threes of the game, a steal and a dunk, a steal and an assist, all in the first 5 minutes, which put them up 17-5. And then he had an and one a little bit later. But
he's
and I was just thinking, I was like, man, he kind of looks a little bit similar. Of if he can be their athletic Derek White, I'm here for it. I
yeah.
mean, it obviously starts with Paolo and Franz, but like having Suggs be that energy and like Swiss Army knife guy makes them very good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Like when he plays, I mean, he's the engine. He's their primary ball handler to get them into sets. He's an elite disruptor. He can guard on the perimeter. Yeah, he's fantastic. And I'm gonna ask you this: if this thing still kind of goes awry and they fire the coach, and let's say like a little bit into next year, they kind of stumble out of the gates again, would you be more apt to get off of Suggs and stay on the two wings, or keep one of the wings and Suggs and trade one of the two wings?
I don't. I actually, you know what? I think you would have to keep Paolo,
Mhm. Well,
and then I don't know. I don't. If I was them, I think you'd have to take Paolo, taking him. Um, like he's your franchise piece.
mhm.
Um, I think you take Paolo. I would honestly keep Suggs and see what I could get from Franz.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I mean, like, but I think that the discussion on which wing to keep, but regardless, I think that just Suggs can you can plug and play Suggs anywhere, and like he can play pretty well next to a lot of other players. I just think it would make more sense to keep him. I totally
Yeah.
agree with you.
I also think it would suck. I mean, because you trade Franz, you know what you know what like he's gonna become. He could become a number one or just a high scoring like big wing in the league. But like I think you would hate to trade Suggs and see him get that Derek White trajectory of like impacting a winning team. You'd be like wow, he was all like we could have had that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Totally agree. And with the series, I think in game one, it's funny, I'll give Mosley some props. There was some really interesting stuff they're doing with Duran, like keeping him off the glass and kind of like
Yeah.
getting him out of his spots. And like I think that they made him a little uncomfortable. And I think that in game two, the Pistons kind of figured it out. I mean, I know Duran only had 11 and 9, but I think that just from X's and O standpoint, they found ways for Duran to get a little closer to the rim again on both ends, and I think that showed. But yeah, I think that I just think the Magic game is so interesting. Ever since the moment that I saw that quote that guys were gonna demand trades have mostly stuck around, they've just been like since that moment better than I've thought at every single turn. Like it's just been like a really
Yeah.
strange last week and a half for like this Magic just team and franchise. Like I just like
Yeah.
it's just it's very strange to me how it could go from oh my God, this is all gonna fall apart for the play-in to wow, like we're in a 1-1 series. We just took home court back from the number one seed in the East. Like a really just weird team to me.
Yeah, and then like I looked at game two and I was just like, this is the reason the Magic almost missed the playoffs this year, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
offensively, they have such like they have super high highs, but then they have super low lows.
Yeah.
And also this series has just been abysmal from the 3-point range.
Oh,
They are both the worst teams in 3-point percentage in the playoffs right now.
it's just so
Like it's bad, and it's the lowest scoring playoff series I think right now. Um, And honestly, Cade is like the only consistently great player in this series.
easily. Easily. Yeah. I mean, like we have a 16 and 11 out of Tobias Harris yesterday.
Yeah.
Like if Tobias Harris is the second guy on the on the call sheet for your offensive players, something's not going right. This almost feels like a late 2000s like early 2010s like Eastern Conference like
Yeah.
just gritty teams, no one shooting the three, a couple stars like
Yeah.
this just feels like a very throwback series in like kind of a refreshing way because I feel like in a lot of these other series, like you have a ton of talent and a ton of these, modern, 3-point shooting teams, and like which is all great. But like, I just think this is just like a really interesting throwback series, and I hope it stays competitive. Just because I don't know. I mean, I think before the year, I had the Magic as the third seed in the East. Like, I think we
Yeah.
all think, or we all are pretty confident that when they're firing on all cylinders, that this Magic team is the cream of the crop in the East, is right there with all these other teams. So.
Hmm.
Yeah, I hope it's competitive, both for viewership's sake now, but also just moving forward. Like I don't want to see this Magic team get broken up. Like I want to see them do what we all think they can do. I think it's better for the
Yeah.
league if we continue to have these teams stay on track, so to speak, and continue to perform. And I think the Magic, even though there's a little bit of a bump on the road now, I think this series is an interesting, albeit weird, good sign of what they could be.
Yeah. Do you think the Magic could win this series? If so, like what's their chances?
I'm I'm gonna say no because I think that I'm gonna try to get away from the recency bias because Detroit has been a top three defensive team all year. I think that Cade is by far the best player in the series, not even close.
Hmm.
I think this Pistons team had really great playoff reps last year, which I think matters. I'm just not discrediting this crazy Magic turmoil that happened a week and a half ago. Like I just I don't I could not understand if the trust or the distrust was that deep, they just figure it out in a week and a half. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I don't think the Magic have a chance to win this series, but I could see why people think they could.
Yeah. I think they could do it. I think
Fair,
they could do it.
fair, okay.
Now let's go to Toronto. Um, Last night was insane. I mean, it was I turned it on because I turned it on after the Knicks game, which we'll get to in a second.
Yep.
Um, and it was the third quarter, and then I just keep watching into the fourth, and then the fourth quarter happens. The Raptors did not miss a shot in the fourth quarter.
No, incredible.
They missed three shots from the start of the fourth to a minute 34 when they subbed their starters out, and they got an offensive rebound on each of those misses and then scored.
Ridiculous. Absolutely
So that was insane. So that basically they didn't have one empty possession. I mean, I didn't actually look at turnovers. Maybe they had a couple, but they were 15 for 18 and 8 for 9 from three, and it was eight straight threes. They missed their first three, and then the rest of the quarter they didn't miss. And it was like insane. If you watch, it was like a 3 minute stretch where they hit like four threes. They were just firing. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was an insane game. Okay, so like a really weird, like I guess you can call it a stat. So Kenny Atkinson, Donovan Mitchell, and Evan Mobley in the press conference after the game said the word force or forceful 25 times when talking about the Raptors. And just like a really weird thing, but I think this touches on something with I mean, I'm going to get a little big picture here. We're just sports in general, where I just think that sometimes, like in games or in quarters or in moments, just like teams rise to the occasion, and there's a little bit of luck in there. I think for sure, a little bit of luck. But I think there's just some inherent thing. I think momentum's a part of it, if you can try to quantify momentum, and teams just they can't miss. The Raptors forced 22 turnovers. You have a guy like Jamison Battle who averaged like 6 minutes a game this year, playing 18
And
minutes.
he came in. I don't know how many threes. I think he hit like three in a row, and it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Like, and I think things like that. This is why I love this shit. I mean,
Yeah,
this is why we watch because even if you stack up the numbers and you have the best case for why one team should win 4-0 or win this game or is a better team, sometimes it doesn't matter. Like
yeah,
in the within the four lines of the court, anything could happen. And I just think that it was really interesting to kind of not just watch that, but also like hear the pressers and like hear that consistent message of the Cavs kind of saying like they just had it tonight, really.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I love Colin Murray Boyles. Like I've loved that dude all year. For him to have a 22 piece in the playoffs, play some great defense. I thought this Raptors team in terms of the coaching just like leveled up in size and brought this like physical brand of ball to the game. It was just like a really entertaining game from a basketball perspective for not
yeah,
even being that close all the time.
yeah. And I was even gonna say like before this, I was like, this is like it's one of the I think it's the highest scoring series right now. I think definitely after game three, but it's like one of the more boring ones. But after last night, I mean, it was pretty energetic.
Yeah.
Um, but I will say this, I mean, I'm happy for the Raptors. I'm happy for Toronto. It looked very fun in that arena. I imagine being there and being a Raptors fan. It was probably crazy.
We the North.
Um, yeah, but the series will be over in five. Um, but because listen to this. So before that crazy fourth quarter, where like, I mean, I don't know how many teams have done that before, missing three shots and getting the rebound and scoring off of them.
Yeah, insane.
I don't know how many times that'll happen again ever. But it was 83 to 81 after the end of the third quarter. The Raptors were up two, but that was with D Mitch at 9 points, James Harden at 11, and Mobley at nine on a collective 8 for 27.
Yeah,
I mean, it's good defense by the Raptors, but I don't know how repeatable. I mean, I don't know how many times they could do that again.
agree.
I mean,
Agree.
D Mitch has that combined 9, 11, and 9 at the third quarter sometimes. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I think that this was a big point that I think you brought up right before the playoffs was that like this Raptors team if they can turn you over and they can play fast, they're
yeah,
dangerous. And I think that showed last night. I mean, I think it was 20 or 23 turnovers that the Cavs had. I
yeah,
mean, that's a recipe for a Raptors win. But like you said, I don't know how replicable that is
yeah,
over and over and over again. Like even a guy like Scotty Barnes having like 32 and 32, 6 and 11 or whatever he had. He's a great player, and I think that he has the ability to put up those numbers. But I think relying on him, like we haven't seen him be the go-to guy on a winning team yet in his career. So I don't. I'm with you. I think that if the Raptors can pull something out of the hat. Maybe this goes six.
Yeah.
I would bet towards a 4-1.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, got anything else on this series?
no, no. I think I've been kind of taking notes of guys that I want to talk about after the year ends. Scotty Barnes is
Yeah.
definitely one of them, though. Like I think there's definitely an interesting conversation to be had about what he is and what he could be after this year.
Yeah. So let's head down to New York versus Atlanta.
Oh,
Man, I mean, first off, the Knicks totally crumbled at the end of that game. I
bro.
mean, they played bad all game, and then they brought it back, and then they just crumbled in the last two possessions. And this was actually a series I was somewhat worried for the Knicks. Like I was actually somewhat coming in. I was like, hey, Atlanta could fight for this, but I didn't think that like the Hawks would be up 2-1
Yeah,
in the series.
I agree.
And is prime CJ McCollum here? I
Bro,
mean,
what is
he's fifth in points per game in the playoffs right now, and he's on fire.
He was like fifth in usage rate, fifth in points, like
Yeah.
daggers. Like it's one of those where like I don't really know what to think of it. It's like it's the CJ McCollum and Kuminga show. Really, like, Alexander Walker and Jalen Johnson have been putting up, solid numbers for what they've been doing this year, but it doesn't feel like they're rising to the occasion. It's Kuminga has been everywhere. Absolutely everywhere.
Yes.
On that last second to last
Last
possession
possession.
defensively, or no, the last possession defensively,
Yeah. Yeah.
like contest, double, loose ball, steal, like just unbelievable defense. Like
He
incredible.
was like a magnet to the ball. I think he went from guarding the inbound to doubling the ball and then following the ball and then doubling Jalen Brunson on the baseline and then getting the ball that he threw at half court.
Bro,
Like it was
star.
insane. Yeah.
Star. Like this is so interesting because I couldn't have been downer on the Hawks during this like last like crazy like 17 game win streak or whatever or what, they played well at the end of the year and I was off it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested.
Yeah.
I kind of
I
love it,
mean,
to be honest.
if they win the series, I mean, I think it might be time for the Knicks to figure something out. I
Yeah.
mean, because I mean they did shoot terrible. I mean, in this game they shot terrible all game until the end. But Mikal Bridges was non-existent this game. I mean, he
20
wasn't even in
minutes.
at the end of the game.
Bro, he played 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, because he was just terrible. I mean, and that's what they need. They need. I mean, OG played good. OG played good.
Yeah.
But like Josh Hart didn't play well. Mikal Bridges didn't play well, and that's what they need. They need those three guys. I mean, Jalen Brunson also in the last two possessions he airballed, and then he had that turnover in the last possession.
Yeah, no, it's tough, and it's one of those where it all falls to him offensively at the end, for
Yeah.
better or for worse. And this is one of the examples where, I mean, unfortunately, like ball just didn't bounce the right way, but it's just like the rest of the guys have to step up a little bit, you know? I
Hmm.
mean, and I know it's overblown and talked about so much, but the haul that they gave up for Mikal Bridges, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that he can't step up in a way that is impactful because it's not like it's like even if he came out and put up a season averages of like 13 and 3 and 3, I think there'd still be a conversation, but I think it would be less so. But it can't be 20 minutes and over 4. Like
No,
that's
no,
that's
and
insane.
and I loved Mikal Bridges. Like I love his game. I
Agreed.
love what he can do, his skill set, and obviously the size attached to that. But I mean, he missed the game winner in game two, which also I think I was looking at this is like you have to find a way to get your best play. Like there should be you should have it designed to be able to get your best player the ball on a missed free throw.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of looked like it was just like a scramble. Mikal Bridges got open. I mean, he got off not a good shot, but it
It was
was
a
a
look.
decent shot. Yeah. Um, but I just think you have to find a way to get Jalen Brunson the ball there.
Yeah, I agree. And just like a non on the court thing. This is the second time this playoffs that the score bug has said that a team has had timeouts, and they didn't. It said the Knicks had
Yeah.
a timeout, so I'm like losing my mind. I'm like,
Yeah.
are they not gonna call a timeout? And they're just gonna let him shoot
Yeah.
the ball. It turns out they didn't have a timeout, so a random thing. But no, I agree. Like this is professional basketball. You're the New York Knicks. This is the playoffs. This is Jalen Brunson, who we've seen do this the last couple years. The ball has got to be in his hands every time. That's yeah, I agree. That's on Mike Brown and that's on Mikal Bridges. That is borderline unacceptable. Because what
Yeah.
there was enough time
There
for
was
him.
a decent amount of time. I mean, Josh Hart got the rebound.
Yeah,
I think he took like maybe two dribbles, and he was looking at Jalen Brunson, but he was guarded. I think there's got to be some sort of like rub off each other and get Jalen Brunson the ball there. But
yeah, you figure it out, you know?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, to talk about teams that are going to be interesting to talk about after the year. This Knicks team is done.
yeah,
Is done. I mean, unless they can, figure it out in this series and beat Boston and get to the Eastern Conference Final. I'm not even talking about the finals. If this team can get to the Eastern Conference Final, then maybe some people can keep some jobs. If not, though, this is this. I don't know to the extent. At the very least, Cat's gone. Bridges
yeah,
could probably go with him. And then the real conversation is like how do we build this team around Brunson? And if we don't feel like we can do that, what's the pivot, you know? So and
yeah,
I think Brunson's still the guy and they'll build around him, but I do think it's interesting. I do think I think that's crossed some of the execs' minds of like, hey, Brunson can't really defend. I know he's done it for us, but like long term, I'm not even saying next year, long
yeah,
term, what are our chances here? You
yeah.
know?
I don't know about the what the contracts look like of like who's leaving soon or not. Um, but I could definitely see just a total like get rid of Cat, get rid of McCallum, maybe get a draft pick, high draft pick. Um,
I think
Something. Add
the
depth for sure.
yeah, I mean, I think the worst thing the Knicks should do at this point is to get back into the Giannis conversation. I think that with the age thing with Giannis and what you'd have to give up, I think they would end up as, you know, Clipper situation now with no first. I think they would mortgage their future for a couple years of Giannis, and I just don't see it paying off for them.
I didn't think of that. Maybe that's what they do. Cat and McCall, some
I bet they
picks.
do.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
And I would hate it for him.
Yeah,
I
that would be
think
terrible.
I would hate it for him. Yeah, as I'm looking at the books now, Mitchell Robinson comes off the books, which I mean is tough, but if you're gonna get Giannis, who cares? Um, Jose Alvarado, player option, and then Shamit, Clarkson, Sohan are unrestricted, but everyone else is on the books. For a lot of for a lot of money. Like
Yeah,
Cat, honestly, just give me one guess on what you think Cat's being paid next year.
42,
Yeah,
48,
57 million.
40. Jeez.
Bro,
That's
OG is
crazy.
getting paid more than Jalen Brunson. OG is getting paid 42. And then Brunson's getting
Wow.
paid 37. Mikal Bridges, 33. Like they are tied up, dude.
Yeah. NBA money is insane now.
And getting worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so what's your series prediction here?
Oh, dude, honestly, I like this is another thing of like there's no way I can predict the Knicks losing in round one, but
Yep.
I want to say the Hawks in seven.
I'm gonna go Knicks in seven. I'm gonna go Knicks in seven. I mean, listen, if it gets to seven, who knows? But I'm with you just for the sheer fact of like this would be absolutely insane for them to go out like this. So
Yeah.
Knicks in seven. That's
I just want to say Hawks in seven just for the fun of it.
yeah. I
I
hope
would
you're
love
right.
to see it. I would love to see it.
Some of my best friends on the planet are Knicks fans, and I just want to see their downfall. So this would be a really nice cheering, really cheering for them.
Yeah. Like it's either I want the Knicks to be really good or I want them just to like be heartbroken.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. Like either make the finals or I want you to be out in round one of the Hawks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. All right, should we finish up with Sixers Celtics here?
Sixers Celtics. 1-1.
Um,
Man.
wh- what are your thoughts after two games then?
Well, here's what I have. The Celtics right now, if the playoffs just ended abruptly, they would be averaging the most three-point attempts per game in the playoffs of all time. And they're only shooting, I think, like 30%. And that's what they died by in game two.
Yep.
And also by a much needed VJ Edgecombe 30 ball,
Yeah.
which was he's the youngest ever to score 30 points and 10 rebounds in a playoff game, and the first rookie to do that since Tim Duncan in 1998.
That's actually an insane stat. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, the Sixers thing is fun because that's because we live in Philly. I just think they're outmatched still. I think that the Celtics team is just gonna wipe the floor with them. Even with an Embiid return, I don't know. I just like Maxey and Edgecombe are fun, and this is gonna be the future of this team. But I
yeah,
think that the Celtics overall are just a better squad. I think just they shoot themselves in the foot relying so much on the three. But I think as
mhm,
we see, um, I think this is going to be a good thing for Tatum specifically. I think this is going to be a good thing to get some real meaningful basketball under his belt again. Get the reps back in, get the pace, get the pressure aspect back in. The Derek White shooting stuff is very troubling still. I mean, this has been an all year thing to this point, where I think he's got to figure that out. I mean, what I think he was like 4 for 13 from the field last night or something like that. And just
yeah,
the 3-point shooting has been abysmal. So I do think if they're going to continue to rely on the three ball like that, then they got to figure that out. Either, scheme it out so it's not him with the ball in his hands on the
yeah,
3-point line, or stop shooting as many threes, which would I think probably be part of my argument. But
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Even with him, like with Embiid coming back, do you think the Sixers have a shot?
Yeah, this is what I was gonna say. I think the Sixers have 0%. I think they have a 0% chance of winning without Embiid. So I think
Hmm.
their chances do rely on him. But even with him, I wouldn't put their chances above 30.
Fair. Yeah.
I do think the Celtics outmatch them, and I think they caught a night where I mean they played well. I mean they need like three people at least playing very well, and that was Tyrese Maxey, PG, and VJ
Yes.
to win the game, along with the Celtics shooting terribly.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think this will be a good trial run for the Sixers. To see, if this team is or what the nucleus of this or what they want the nucleus of this team to be. But PG's actually played better than I expected. But I
Yeah,
think that it's just to me at least, it's just clear that this rendition of the Sixers team is just between eras right now. I would like to see Embiid come back. Because I mean. Just even if you take the math of it, I mean, they steal home court. Let's say they grab one at home, it's 2-2, and B comes back. Let's say you get one more shitty, variance night from the Celtics in shooting, and then now you're standing at a game seven. So I mean,
yeah,
I shouldn't say that there's no chance for them to win if Embiid comes back. I think there is a chance. Yeah, but I want to see it. I want to see him down the stretch in a 4-point game with 2 minutes left. Sixers are down or up. I mean, what are they drawing up? Is it
yeah,
Embiid? Is it Maxi? Is it? I don't think it's VJ, but like I'm just curious to see where their head is at and where they feel like the ball should be in those scenarios. Because I think that will be telling for beyond this year what they're feeling as a team. So
yeah.
even though I don't think they could get it done, I do think it would be interesting to see.
Yeah, and Embiid is still doubtful. There's no like real timeline of when he'll be back. I think it'll just be like a abrupt, like, oh, he's gonna be playing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think it's interesting. It's been fun that it's been mostly, 1-1s across the board. Like, I mean, aside from Thunder Suns right now, I mean,
Yeah.
there's no shutouts. So, yeah, how have you felt about just the playoffs overall? Like, enjoyable? Like, what's been your take?
Honestly, this first round is a lot better than I thought it was gonna be.
Agree.
I thought there was like a bunch of series. I think the only like series that I in my head were like this could be questionable, like actually questionable, was Denver T Wolves. But that's still I was like I think Denver takes it, and maybe I that's really it. Like Knicks Atlanta, like I thought okay the Hawks will steal some games, but I was like Knicks will have it easily.
Yeah.
Um, that's really it. I didn't have anybody else like oh they might upset them.
True, true, yeah. And there is the other shout out of Lakers Rockets, but that one's been so
Yeah,
interesting where like even though it's 2-0, like I'm still I'm still locked in for game three. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
even though it's 2-0, I'm like every game, every series in the playoffs right now, including the Thunder, because obviously those are our guys. I'm glued to the seat. Like I'm looking forward to the adjustments from the last game. Like everything feels very fresh. Feels like
yeah,
there's some good coaching going on. It feels like there's a real interesting mix of like teams that are on the rise, teams that need to win now. Like I just think that like there's some um really interesting storylines across the board. Like I've really enjoyed it so far, and it's only round one.
yeah, for sure. Me too. Yeah, we were gonna
Um,
do a draft, but I think we've
we
got a
were
lot of
chopping it up
content.
about
Yeah,
these series a ton. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So maybe come when we come back next week, I'm assuming some of these series will
we'll be
be
over.
coming to
Yeah,
an end, and we can fit in maybe a draft of whoever's left or something like that.
yeah, for sure. Sounds
Okay.
good. Um,
Random
oh, we got a
Hooper?
random hooper. Oh
Random Hooper,
man.
random Hooper.
Um,
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the big fella that used to get dunked on a ton. I'm gonna go with Aaron Gray is my
Eric.
random Hooper.
Yo, he went to Emmaus High School, which I went to Whitehall High School, and I played Emmaus High. Like they were in my league.
No,
That's
let's
crazy.
go.
I went to a middle school that I would have like an Emmaus middle school, which was
Yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Aaron Gray.
Damn.
Oh, wow, what a shout.
Aaron Gray. There we
Um,
go. That's perfect.
I'm trying to think if there anybody in the NBA else around there. Um, Tyrese Martin went to Allen High School. I played him. Well,
Okay.
I didn't play him. My school played him.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Martin.
I
That could
like
be a
that,
random
Paul.
hooper, maybe. Um, I mean, CJ McCollum went to Lehigh. Lehigh's right by me.
Sure, sure.
A random hooper. Let me get a random hooper. Jared Bayless.
Okay.
Jared
I like
Bayless
Jerry
is my
Rice.
random hooper.
Love it. Love it. All right. Yeah, so we'll be back with some more playoffs next week. We are in full swing.
Yes, sir. All right. Thanks for watching.
Swish happens.